We were a generation that was raised on hustle culture, and we were taught that exhaustion and burnout was just a badge of honor. But so many of us are waking up to the truth that our soul has always known. We were never meant to live this fast and in this much stress and go and need for more. We have gotten ourselves so far removed that we are so disconnected from who we're meant to be, but yet so readily connected to everything else that doesn't matter. Have you ever followed all of the rules? The job, the schedule, the societal expectations, and yet still left feeling totally empty and unfulfilled, and most of all, fucking exhausted? Because you know what? Same babe, same. This year completely cracked me open. It broke me and it tore down everything that I had built. And at first I thought that was like a really, really bad thing. But then what I started realizing is that the universe delivers for me. Like this is happening for me, not to me. And so here I am left with this unique opportunity to start rebuilding from the ground up, slowly, softly, and on my own terms. And what I really, really want to do is be able to show you how you can rebuild on your own terms. You don't need to have, the scary family cancer diagnosis or being made redundant. Is that you can actually choose this for yourself now. And I would like to take you through how we could do that together. I had the job, I had the routine, and I was doing everything to check the boxes of all the things that I was told that would make me successful. But I was exhausted. My nervous system was fried, and then my mum got sick. And then just like that, I was made redundant. It honestly felt like the universe had just ripped the rug from underneath me and everything came crashing down. And I guess in a way, it did. And don't get me wrong, like I cried, I raged, I had the pity parties. I was like, woe is me. I was living in my pajamas for weeks just thinking, how could this all happen to me? But it also gave me a lot of time to reflect. And when I started doing that reflecting, what I realized is that I've been given this unique blank slate to be able to rebuild my life on. So it led me to asking, what do I want my life to look like? How do I want my life to be? So what I've started doing is started rebuilding my life with intention. Intention as the foundation so that I can build a life that I truly love. And what I hope is that by getting to see me rebuild my life is in an intentional way and a life that I really love, that you can see that there is the opportunity for you to be able to do it, so, do it too, but without having to, have your life fall apart before you get there. So what I think is one of the really important foundations when you are rebuilding your life is about making small changes rather than going for the big, huge overhaul, because sometimes when we go with the big, huge overhaul, it just makes things so much more overwhelming than what they already are. Your plate is already stacked and full. So adding all these other things and changing everything in this big, fast sweep is just not going to be sustainable. So we start with small, intentional changes that will just really have that flow-on effect to change your life. So the first step on rebuilding my life, what have I done? I have given myself permission to slow down. Now, I was starting to do this even before all the shit hit the fan, all right? Because I started realizing how burnt out and exhausted I was. And it was because my calendar was so chock-a-block full, my schedule was so chock-a-block full, and I was just always in a constant state of rush, stress, and overwhelm. So now I create space to slow down and I make things sacred. So whether this is from slow mornings to saying no to things that do not light me up or bring me joy, that are just, things in the past that I've just said yes to please everybody else. This is really about also where I've analysed my schedule and work out where have I been busy just for the sake of being busy. Even when it comes to making weekend plans now, if I can see that we've done something every single weekend for the past 2 or 3 weeks, I will intentionally make sure that we're not doing anything, that we don't book anything in, so that we can just actually be. It's about creating space for yourself and breathing room. You might feel like that could be counterproductive, but I can promise you that it's not, because you are not doing anyone any favors by coming at a place where your cup is empty, right? Because then you're just giving the leftovers. You're giving the actual worst of yourself to everybody else because you're not taking that time to slow down. So the next big shift that I've made is about romanticizing the ordinary. The whole point is about building a life that you love and finding joy and magic in those everyday moments is one of the major pillars for building that life that you love. So whether it's things like dinner by candlelight or Friday night cocktail hour with my husband or a games night or going to the movies with my son, whatever it may be, my bath ritual, putting perfume on, joy lives here, and I ensure that joy lives here, but it's not just about doing those little practices, it's about prioritizing those as a non-negotiable in your life. All right, it is like, think about that time that you schedule for yourself. So if it is your romantic bath ritual that maybe you like to do, you do that every week and you schedule that damn thing like it's a doctor's appointment that you cannot miss. You schedule it like your life depends on it, because what you don't realize is it actually does. The sneaky tip with this one here as well, what doing that actually does is help to rewire your brain to look for more joy. All right, it's that energy and that like attracts like, but what it is that we rewire our neural pathways so that we actually find more joy in life. Like we just see it. It just becomes on our radar all the time. And then we're focusing more on the good things and less on the shit things. And one thing that I'm toying with now is like, it's a little bit old school and going back to the old homemaker rhythms of a day-to-day with my new schedule. So what that means is every day has a purpose. And whether that is a soft CEO Monday or a content filming Wednesday, everything, it's got its purpose and it gets to be productive, and we get to be single tasked instead of multitasking between different things. And that goes for the two things. So that goes from either doing my business and having certain days I do certain things within my business, or with the home, and then that way making sure that I'm making space for those things that I love. What that also allows me to do is to go with the flow and the rhythm of my life and my energy, and tailoring that around what our actual needs are. Maybe you don't work for yourself and you're in a 9 to 5. Well, that's still achievable, because then you can still have different themes on different days, just so that you know what's coming, so you don't have to think about it, so that you can use that energy and create that space to do those other things that you love. It's about simplifying and having processes and systems in place that support you, not make things harder. I guess most of all, the thing that I did is that I stopped waiting for perfect, because I very quickly realized that things are never going to be perfect. And then if I put my life on hold for things to be perfect, I'm going to get to the end and I'm going to regret all the things that I didn't do because I was just too busy sitting in the waiting room of my life, waiting to live my life. I think the biggest tip and takeaway with that particular one is that you don't need to have it all figured out. All you need to do is take the next tiny little step. You just need to begin. If this is resonating with you, and maybe you're standing at a crossroads too, and you're wondering, how do I actually build a life that I love? I just want you to know you're not alone. I'm right here with you going through it too. I'm sharing this journey with you in real time as it unfolds. And it's not because I have it all figured out, but because I'm choosing to do it differently. I'd love for you to subscribe if you want to come with me. And maybe if you're craving a gentle starting point, I created the Soft Life Starter Kit. I created it as the reset that I wish I had when everything fell apart. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode about rebuilding your life. Now, I would love to hear what are some micro little changes that you want to do to sort of rebuild your life, or how you're reclaiming your time and filling your life with things that you love. Please pop it in the comments. I would love to hear about it. Now, don't forget, Monday nights are for live streaming. So if you want to have more of this conversation, but more one-on-one and more interactive, then please join me either on YouTube or on Twitch, both at Hills Homestead Queen, for our live stream Monday nights at 6:30. Hopefully we'll see you then. Mwah. And for me, it was in that. We are a generation that was raised on all your whole life. Then what? But so many of us. I would love for you to subscribe if you.